Okay, so we're diving into Gibbon plus AI today. The system that everyone's saying is going to revolutionize education. And yeah, from these materials, it looks like it's not just hype. We're talking about really getting down to how we measure student growth. Like imagine instead of just grades, we have AI crafting a custom learning path for each student.
It's a bold idea for sure. What I'm really interested in is how this Given plus AI tackles the limits of how we assess students now. Can AI actually handle something as nuanced as personalized learning?
Well, that's what's so fascinating about this deep dive. The source material jumps right into the big problem. Traditional assessments just aren't cutting it anymore. Like, think back to report card day. It was all about the grades, right? But Given plus AI argues that this narrow focus misses so much of what actually helps a student thrive.
It's about understanding the why behind the what, which is hard to get from a single grade on a report card. Skills like communication or creative problem solving, those are essential for success anywhere, not just the classroom. But they don't always show up in a traditional grading system.
Exactly. And that's where Gibbon plus AI says, hey, we're the solution. Not just measuring student growth, but actually guiding it. I'm picturing like a super-powered teacher's assistant, taking all that data, the grades, activities, even those insightful teacher comments, and actually turning it into something you can use.
And that's where the real power of AI comes in. Imagine Gibbon plus AI going through all that information, finding patterns and connections that we might miss. It could free up teachers to actually, teach, to mentor, inspire, connect with their students on a deeper level.
Okay, so less paperwork, more human connection. I'm liking this already. But how does it actually work? How does Gibbon plus AI make these personalized learning plans happen?
Well, the documents say it starts with each student getting their own custom learning objectives. Not one size fits all here.
Wait, so the AI actually figures out what each student needs to work on individually?
Wow.
How?
That's the core of it. The AI looks at a student's strengths, weaknesses, even their learning style, to figure out the best way for them to grow.
So it's not just about test scores, it's really trying to get each student as a learner. That's really impressive. But then how does it measure progress?
That's the next step, custom assessment. So instead of those late-night grading marathons teachers are used to, Gibbon plus AI is supposed to make rubrics and assessments tailored for each student's goals.
Okay, so personalized goals and personalized ways to measure them. That's a lot of data. How does it make sense of it all?
That's where step 3 comes in, AI analysis. Gibbon plus AI creates what they call a comprehensive student growth report, which is supposed to be way more than your average report card. It's designed to be constantly updated, tracking how a student grows over time.
And from what I'm reading, it's not just about grades either. It actually highlights those hard-to-measure skills we were talking about. Communication, creativity, even leadership qualities.
Right. It gives you a more complete view of the student's journey, which could be incredibly valuable for teachers and parents alike. Teachers can use it to personalize their teaching, and parents get a clear picture of how their child is developing overall. And the great thing is, it doesn't just stop there, like, okay, here's all this info, now what? It actually gives you a roadmap for improvement. We're talking personalized growth plans powered by AI.
So like a GPS for learning, guiding each student toward their full potential. But how specific are these plans? Are we talking vague suggestions, or does it get down to brass tacks?
Gibbon plus AI uses something called the SMART Goals framework. The idea is to take the guesswork out of improvement.
Okay, acronym time. Remind me what SMART goals are all about again.
Right, so SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It's about setting concrete goals. So instead of saying, get better at writing, a SMART goal would be write a 500-word essay with a clear thesis and supporting arguments by the end of the month.
So it's about setting realistic, achievable targets. Not just some vague idea of improvement. That makes a lot of sense. But from what I'm reading, Gibbon plus AI doesn't just set goals, it actually recommends books tailored to each student. That seems huge.
Yeah, that's a really interesting part. Based on a student's goals and their progress, Gibbon plus AI can actually suggest specific books to help them improve, like having a personalized book recommendation list.
This all sounds amazing for teachers, having all this detailed, personalized information. But what about the students themselves and their parents? How does Gibbon plus AI change things for them?
Well, one of the biggest potential benefits of Gibbon plus AI is how it handles communication and collaboration. The goal is to bridge that gap between teachers, parents, and students. by giving everyone clear, easy-to-understand insights into how each student is doing.
So less time trying to decipher report cards, and more time actually having meaningful conversations about a student's growth. I can see how that would be a game changer for everyone involved.
Exactly. For teachers, it could mean more time actually teaching, less time on administrative stuff. They'll have a much better understanding of each student's needs, so they can really tailor their teaching.
And for parents, it sounds like Given plus AI offers a whole new level of transparency and understanding. Instead of just seeing a letter grade, they're getting a much richer picture of how their child is actually doing.
Absolutely. Parents would get regular updates on their child's progress, and not just through traditional report cards, but through these in-depth reports that are easy to understand and lets them have more informed conversations with teachers. And even more importantly, with their kids about their education, it creates a real partnership in learning.
It does sound like Given plus AI has the potential to create a much more supportive and collaborative learning environment, which is something I think everyone can get behind. But let's zoom out for a second. This is all great in theory, but is Given plus AI really trying to revolutionize education as a whole? Is this a true paradigm shift or just a fancy new tool?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The developers definitely present Given plus AI as more than just a tool. They're talking about it as a fundamental change in how we approach education.
A new era of education. It's a bold statement, no doubt. But like with any new tech, especially in education, we got to talk about the potential bumps in the road. What are some of the challenges Given plus AI might face?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles is going to be implementation. I mean, schools have different needs, different resources, and integrating a system as complex as Given plus AI is no small feat. It's going to take a real investment, both financially and in making sure teachers know how to use it.
So it's not just about installing some software. It's about making sure teachers are ready for it and that schools have the infrastructure to actually support it.
Exactly. And then there's the whole data privacy and security issue. We're talking about sensitive student information here. Making sure that data is handled responsibly and ethically is absolutely crucial.
Those are all really important points. But even with the best tech in the world, we can't forget about the human element. Technology can be a powerful tool, but it can't replace having a passionate, dedicated teacher in the classroom.
100% agree. Technology should be there to support and enhance teaching, not replace it. We have to find that sweet spot, using AI to handle things like data analysis and recommendations so that educators can focus on what they do best, like fostering creativity, critical thinking, and that love of learning.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Given plus AI, I'm curious, what does success actually look like for a system like this? It's obviously about more than just getting it into schools.
That's a really important question. For Given plus AI to be truly successful, I think we need a change in how we think about things. We have to stop seeing technology as a threat to education and start embracing how it can personalize and improve the learning experience for every student.
It's about seeing tech as an ally in education, not something that's going to replace that human connection that's so vital to learning.
Exactly. And of course, Given plus AI needs to prove itself in real classrooms. The data it gathers, the insights it provides, they need to translate into real improvements in how students learn and how engaged they are. We need to see those results to call it a true success.
This deep dive has definitely given me a lot to chew on. Given plus AI might not have all the answers, and it's definitely got its work cut out for it. But the potential is there to really personalize education and give both students and educators some exciting new possibilities.
It's a future worth exploring. And who knows, maybe someday we'll look back and wonder how we ever did education without AI.
It's a future full of possibilities for sure. For now, we'll keep asking the tough questions, exploring the newest innovations, and diving deep into the topics that matter most to you. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in education.